Hi everybody, it's David Porter. And this morning I want to talk about changing associations. Something you will hear very frequently in recovery from chemical dependency, alcoholism. Something you will hear very frequently in AA is the importance of changing associations. This also applies to those who are trying to get out and stay out of the criminal lifestyle. What does this mean? There's an adage, mostly that I've heard in the podcasts on success, motivation, entrepreneurship, that if you want to get ahead, if you want to succeed, you have to surround yourself with people who are ambitious and motivated and successful and intelligent and goal-oriented. If you hang around with 5 dumbasses, 5 losers, guess who the 6th dumbass or 6th loser is? Now, to put it more clinically, that is very much in line with differential association theory in sociology or in psychology. It is a psychosocial theory that says we are the summation of the people that we associate with the most. The people that we spend most minutes of the day, hours of the hour, or minutes of the hour, hours of the day, days of the week, weeks of the month, and years with, their behavior will be adopted by us depending on a number of internal cognitive factors, excuse me, including how we perceive their behavior and what the outcomes are. We observe behavior, and if the outcome appears favorable, we will emulate and adopt that behavior. That's differential association theory in brief. So if you hang around with 6 people who are habitually abusing drugs and alcohol, getting into fights, being disrespectful, obnoxious, and threatening to other people and even among your group, and they have no goals, they have no self-respect, they are leading a aimless or criminal lifestyle, don't expect to get ahead or succeed or accomplish anything if that's your primary social group. If you are trying to get clean and sober, if you are struggling with addiction to drugs and alcohol, you must change associations. Now, I've been a drug and alcohol counselor, a licensed alcohol drug counselor, and a psychotherapist for many years now. 22 years I've been practicing. And I've seen what works and I've seen what does not work. One major component of recovery is you must change associations. What does that mean? This is hard, and I get it. I live here in the real world, and I know it's very easy for me to sit here and say this. It's another thing to do it, because these people that I'm speaking of are not my friends or my lover or my brother or sister or cousin. These are not people I have history with. So I know it's real easy for me to sit here and say this, but the hard reality is, if you continue to associate with people who use drugs, who spy or sell drugs that you sell to or buy from or trade with or party with or you get drunk with, you will not be able to maintain sobriety and abstinence. You may resist a few times, but eventually you're going to fold, because a lot of people, especially in early recovery, they're sincere, they're motivated, they're determined, but it's very, very fragile. The message of recovery has not sunk in deep enough and changed their core beliefs. So they have motivation on the surface, and they really do want to stay clean and sober. So what that means behaviorally is they're not going to go looking for it. They're not going to go out and go looking for it. They're not going to go to a bar or a liquor store. They're not going to go find a dealer or someone who can connect them to a dealer. They're not going to do that, but put it right in front of their face. Put drugs or alcohol right in front of their face. They're not going to be able to resist. They're going to crumble. Or let's say your drug of choice is heroin or cocaine. Alcohol, you can take it or leave it. But you have a little bit to drink. It doesn't have to be much. It could be a couple. It could be 2 or 3. And your inhibitions are going to go down. Your determination is going to waver, falter. And you are going to find yourself doing the heroin, the cocaine, the pills, whatever it is that somebody has. And again, if it's right there in front of you, it's going to be very, very hard to resist. That can be hard to resist even for a person who is very advanced in recovery, who has years of sobriety or abstinence in. So the people that you associate with will very much determine whether or not you maintain sobriety and abstinence. Here's what I've seen happen a lot. People will go through phases. They will try to hold on to their old associations, and they will fail. They will lapse and relapse. They will end up returning to drugs and alcohol. Eventually it sinks in, I can't associate with these people. I've got to start minimizing my time with them. Well, that doesn't work, because all it takes is one time and you're right back in it again. All right, I have to eject these people from my life. I have to cut myself off from these people. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is you become very isolated, because those people were all you had. Those were all of your social contacts. So now you're alone. You're isolated. You're bored. You don't know what to do with yourself. Unfortunately, if you have an addiction, the default setting is going to be use a chemical substance to alter yourself. So stage 2 is a high-risk situation for anyone trying to maintain recovery. Now, ideally, stage 3 is you're going to start connecting with people who are clean and sober, pro-social, ambitious, motivated, goal-oriented, intelligent, respectful, kind, people who have positive qualities conducive to recovery, or, like I said, and/or if you're trying to escape the criminal lifestyle. Where do you find these people? The best place is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. You're going to meet people there who are clean and sober, or working on getting clean and sober. You are going to develop connections of people who care about you because they've been in your position. You are going to have people you can call at 3 a.m. if you are on the edge of wanting to use. Or you may have other things that you're experiencing. You could be suicidal. You can call these people at 3 a.m. You can, and the members of AA, it's called a fellowship, they will respond, they will talk to you, they will come and see you. Or you can meet them, whatever. You'll be able to get together face to face, where they will listen to you and give you an opportunity to vent and support and reassurance and opinion and advice, because they want to watch you succeed. Surround yourself with people who want you to succeed, who are smarter than you are, who have different skills and knowledge than what you have, who have experienced the hardships in life, the desperation, and know how to survive it. Surround yourself with these people, and it is going to be easier to get clean and sober and stay that way, or to lead a law-abiding lifestyle. But the chances are, if you maintain connections with people from the old life, you're going to get dragged back into the old life. And here's something that is this is really heinous. I've experienced this before too. I've had people tell me this. And by the way, everyone, I have learned so much from my patients. I have learned so much from all the people that I've seen. They are my they have been my teachers as well as my patients. So anyhow, something I've learned from listening to people with addictions and who have led a criminal lifestyle is it doesn't it doesn't take much. It can be the briefest of contacts. You're walking down the street and you run into somebody from the life. Hey, how you doing? How are you? And you go over there and approach them just to be polite, and you talk to them, and then very, very quickly, you are going to start feeling differently. You're going to start experiencing different emotions which are connected with using drugs or alcohol. You're going to start getting actual physical sensations, your chest feeling tight and knot in your stomach, your breathing quickening, your palms sweating. You're going to start having actual physiological reactions because they are triggering you. A word which has been corrupted and bastardized and is thrown around way too easy today because it means something a lot more serious than your feelings have been hurt. It's something much more serious, much deeper, much more profound. But anyhow, more about that in another video about how triggering that word has gotten so misused. Anyhow, freaking ADD. Let me have a sip of coffee. I can feel it working already, getting the frontal lobe working, so I can stay on task. The briefest of contexts. So you're experiencing actual physiological arousal and emotional and perceptual changes just from talking to this person, and then it comes down to, hey, do you need anything? Do you want me to hook you up? Or you may take the initiative. Are you holding anything? Can you hook me up? You're going to find yourself right back into it again very quickly. I cannot tell you how many relapse stories people have told me that started with these words. I ran into an old friend. Here's what I've seen work. You see that old friend, that associate from the former life. Hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm good. How are you? Keep on walking. Do not even break stride. Just keep walking. Return their greetings, show them respect. Hey, how are you? And you keep walking. Do not engage with them. This detail is very important. You cannot engage with them. You cannot open the window. You do not break stride. You keep walking. Hey, come here. I got to talk to you for a minute. I got to tell you something. You know what? I'm in a hurry. I'm busy. I'll call you later. Look, you don't really call them. The other thing I've seen people do, and this is what I was saying before, the heinous part is people deliberately go out of their way to trip you up and watch you fall on your face. They get very, very hurt that you are clean and sober, that you have a job, you're taking care of your family, you are healthy, you are succeeding and getting ahead in life, and they don't like that. That upsets them, that offends them, that pisses them off because they don't have what you have, and they are going to actively work to bring you down to the place they think you belong. They're going to actively work to hold you back and make sure you fail, to keep you weak, because they're not interested in getting stronger themselves and succeeding. The way they get stronger is to weaken the people around them. These people are toxic, and you do not want them in your life, and unfortunately, they are all too often family and friends. How many chances do you give people? How many chances do people need? Or how many chances do you give someone who is actively trying to make you fail or hold you back or weaken you? Or maybe they're not doing it deliberately, it's just a life they have, and they are going to influence your decisions and your choices. How many chances do you give them? Here's something else I've seen before. I've talked to a lot of victims of domestic violence, a lot of women who have been abused by their men, by their husband, by their boyfriend, by their lover, by a coworker or acquaintance they hooked up with. And I'm going to give him another chance. He beat me. He got drunk and beat me, cheated on me, called me the most horrible names. But, it's okay because he was blackout drunk. He doesn't even remember it. He had cried real tears and apologized and promised it'll never happen again. So I'm going to give him another chance. How many chances are you going to give someone to hurt you, to injure you, to be unfaithful and insult you and disrespect you? Why would you give anyone another chance to do that again? And I know, it's very easy for me to sit here and say this. I'm not the one who's in love with them. I'm not the one who shared time with them and intimacy and connected. I have no such connections. So it's very easy for me to sit here and say this on the outside looking in. But my gosh, it just is hard for me to wrap my head around the people I've talked to, and not just women. I've talked to men too. Men are victims of domestic violence. They'll believe it or not. A lot of people don't acknowledge that. And again, I'm not the one who's in love with her. I'm not the one who's been intimate with her and shared time with her. So it's easy for me to say, just dump her, leave her, get away from her. I know it's easy for me to say that. It's much more complicated in real life, especially if you're married or you have kids with them. I know. But, my gosh, be real careful about who you invite into your life, who you call friend or lover. Look for the red flags that say, whoa, this is a bad idea, get away from her. Or ladies, get away from him. It is... And look for the green lights. Don't just push everyone away either. Look for the green lights that say, okay, let's proceed. Let's get to know this person better. Because they're interesting, they've got some good qualities, they're kind, they're respectful. But don't allow people to treat you like shit. Don't allow people to disrespect you. Advocate for yourself. Alright. I guess that's all I have to say right now. Everyone, thank you for watching. Please hit subscribe and be safe.